It isn't a stretch to claim that the three biggest mascots of the 90s video game industry were Nintendo's Mario, Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog, and at the time, Naughty Dog's Crash Bandicoot. These characters to this day have a very successful game franchise, and all three are still around today. Mario has always been very successful. Sonic hasn't had the best track record as of late, but fans are getting excited for the new 2022 game, as Sonic leaks make it sound promising.
God. It looks so good. It looks so good.
Oh my gosh, what is... Dang, his model looks so freaking good.
They're doing it! Oh my god, they're fucking doing it! Oh my god! Holy shit!
I'm not used to Sonic's gloves having textures. Has that always been a thing? Shadow of the Breath of Sonic.
Shadow of the Breath of Sonic.
Holy shit. We got some open world horse shit coming to your new Sonic.
And Crash has had a very successful comeback after his almost 10-year hiatus from the post-Radical era. Due to these characters being the mascots of their company, these characters are put into every genre possible to make as much money as possible. Mario and Sonic have been rivals for a long time before this, and Crash had such a successful launch that he became a viable competitor once the jump to 3D happened. Party games, sports games, fan games, fan hacks, nobody can deny these characters are popular, but that doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than the other. So I decided to try and settle this. And what better way to do this than not focus on their origin story, but focus on one of their more successful spin-offs, the Kart Racer. Mario Kart, Team Sonic Racing, and the remake of Crash Team Racing, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Also, side note, for fairness, I will be playing each game on the Nintendo Switch, as I own all of them on the Switch as well as the PS4, and I just want to be fair to Mario Kart. So sad that that's restricted to being on the Switch. I'll be judging this game on many factors like gameplay, content, story, etc. I'll be giving a first, second, and third place to each category, with first getting 3 points, second getting 2, and third getting 1. Well, without further ado, let's get started. I think the best place to start is with the gameplay. With Mario Kart, you use the A button to accelerate. While you're accelerating, you can use the right bumper to drift. When a race starts, you see a 3, 2, 1 countdown appear for 3 lights. If you start at just the right time, you can get a speed boost as the race starts. When you're drifting around a bend, you can charge up a speed boost. This has 2 tiers depending on how long you hold your drift. Around the track, you can find these boxes. They give you an item, or 2 items if you hit a stacked block. If you jump off a ramp, you get a speed boost once you land. As well as that, for some tracks, you shift into anti-gravity. When you're in anti-gravity mode, if you hit a racer or an obstacle, you gain a speed boost. During a race, you'll find these coins littered around the track. You can carry up to 10 at a time. If you have all 10, your top speed increases. Every individual coin also gives you a small boost, and after you collect enough, you unlock stuff like carts, wheels, gliders, that kind of stuff. There are 5 difficulties to choose from: 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, 150 mirrored, and 200cc. For this gameplay footage, I recorded on both 150cc and 200cc, and I was able to get a high ranking on almost all the races. That leads to the conclusion that this is easy, and to quote me from earlier on this week, easy is just boring. Who wants to play a racing game where there's really no challenge even when you're on the hardest difficulty? The battle mode though was definitely way more engaging. The matches in that mode were so much closer, and there were a lot more unique game modes like Cops and Robbers, something similar to King of the Hill, specific items only, and so on. So while the main mode was in my opinion easy, the sub mode was much more engaging, which I feel like is kinda backwards thinking. Now moving on to TSR, to accelerate you use the right trigger, and then to drift you use the left trigger. Immediately to me this control seems a lot more intuitive, as the button to accelerate, its immediate opposite is to drift. In this game you use B to use an item. In TSR, you collect wisp capsules. That's because in this game, all your items are actually wisps from Sonic Colors. When you're drifting in this game, unlike in Mario Kart, you actually have 3 tiers of boost. It's obtained in the same way as it is in Mario Kart, but the intervals in between each 3 tiers are longer. As well as that, if you hit a wall, you lose your boost, as well as being hit by an item, but that's the same in Mario Kart as well, so. Okay, in this game, since you can't jump, you don't get the speed boost from when you go off ramps, but they trade it in for a new mechanic. When you go off ramps, you flick the right stick in any direction, you'll do a flip in that direction. The more tricks you do in the air, the higher the speed boost you get when you land. But if you mess up, you lose rings. Speaking of rings, you collect rings as they go around the track. They're usually scattered all over the place. These rings give you speed like Mario Kart, but unlike Mario Kart, you can carry 999 at a time, which you definitely will not get in one race. The drawback to being able to carry more is unlike Mario's coins where you lose 3 every time you're hit, in TSR you lose all your rings at one time. The rings also increase the credits you get after a race. You get credits depending on how well you do, and these credits can be used in the garage to get mod packs or stuff to customize your kart. And that's just the solo races. If you're playing in team races, there's even more mechanics put into the game. Firstly, if you have an item you don't need, you can send it to your teammates, and they can send you items they also don't need. You can also ride in the slipstream of whoever's in first place of your team. The boost you get from it has 3 tiers depending on how long you stay in the slipstream. Why would you do this though? Well, you're trying to build this gauge that's behind your kart. It increases every time you act like a teammate, be it sending an item, receiving an item, creating a slipstream, performing a slipstream, anything like that. And once those gauges get full, you can go into Team Ultimate mode. You're invincible, have max speed, and you can mow down any racer in your path. It is cathartic, and I love it. This game already has so much more in the way of gameplay than Mario Kart, which just keeps it simple. There are 3 difficulty settings in this game: normal, hard, and expert. While yes, I agree this doesn't add as much replay value as Mario Kart's 5 different difficulty settings, it creates more replay value in my opinion because these are so much harder than Mario Kart's different difficulty spikes. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is a lot harder, but a lot more rewarding to pull off. So in this game, you drive the same as Mario Kart with B as your accelerator and right trigger to drift. Unlike Mario Kart and TSR, this drift boost requires some skill to pull off. As you drift, you see this gauge in the bottom right fill up. When it fills up, you need to use the left trigger to activate the boost. The closer it is to the end, the better the boost. Once you do activate it, the gauge resets and starts to fill up again. You can do this up to 3 times in any one drift, and then you can start the gauge over again by resetting your drift. You can do this as many times as you want. In this game, you break crates to either get your items or Wumpa Fruit, which are the coins or rings of this game. In this game, Wumpa Fruit makes your items stronger and more effective, i.e. makes missiles homing missiles, TNT crates nitro crates, and so on. In this game, when you jump off a ramp, instead of getting a set speed boost like you would in Mario Kart, you're given a speed boost based on how much airtime you get once you hit the ground. While having the controls of Mario Kart, it's a lot more difficulty, which I appreciate. This game in my opinion has the most engaging gameplay as it's the most involved for players. You need to manage so much more. Collecting Wumpa Fruit to get stronger weapons, making sure you get weapons so that you don't fall behind, and seeing how you can get more airtime from your jumps. So I'm putting Crash Team Racing first, TSR in second, and Mario Kart in third.
Can't win them all.
Now we focus on the part of the video that deals with content. Mario Kart has 12 Grand Prix, all consisting of 4 tracks, which equals 48 tracks. The roster as well is quite large, with 42 racers to choose from. As well as this, there are other modes in Mario Kart for you to enjoy aside from the main racing. This game, like all real races at this time, has 4-player multiplayer which lets you enjoy all the races and all the Grand Prix. There's also a versus battle mode where you can play single and multiplayer. There are many gameplay modes inside this battle mode like cops and robbers, only items on, etc, etc. Keeping on this all things modern kart races should have a trend, there's also an online mode. While this game does have the basics, apart from that, there's nothing really else special about this game. As well as that, a lot of the characters on the Mario Kart roster are just copy-paste of other characters. Like Pink Gold Peach, the baby versions of other characters, and so on. I do like the addition of other Nintendo characters like Link, Isabelle, and the villager from Animal Crossing, as well as the Inklings. I feel like this was a nice touch to add to the game. But apart from that, there's nothing much else about Mario Kart to talk about. Now moving on to Team Sonic Racing, we have 2 types of races, the team races and the expedition races I already mentioned. Team races are where you assign 2 other racers from the game and your main race is a team of 3. When you finish a race, you're given points based on your ranking in the race. The better the placement, the more points you get. The tree amount of points your teammates get are added together, and the team with the highest points at the end win, be it an expedition or Grand Prix. There are then normal races, where it just matters if you come first, second, and third, and then so on. There are also Grand Prix which can be played in a team and solo mode. The problem with this though, where Mario Kart has 12 Grand Prix, Team Sonic Racing only has 5. Now, granted, there are 5 solo Grand Prix and 5 team Grand Prix, but it's the same 5 Grand Prix. There's nothing even new, it's just the same Grand Prix over again. After a race, either team or solo, you can use these coins in the garage. Once there, you can use a gacha system to earn part of the car. You can also get a mod pack, which gives you an item at the very beginning of a race. These car parts change the stats of your car that you are driving. And from experience, I can say these parts definitely make the difference between winning and coming second. With the changing parts, you can also change your car horn and color scheme. This isn't perfect though, because when you change your color schemes, I can never get it to look the way I want because you can only add color schemes. Not just any color you want, which I feel is just a big letdown. Moving on to the racers, you have a ridiculously small 15 character roster. You have the Team Sonic boys, Team Dark, Amy, Big, and Omo Chow.
Ouch! Chow Doctor, help me!
Silver, Blaze, and Vector. I'm not sure why he's part of this, but okay. And then the 3 main villains, Eggman, Metal Sonic, and... Hey, why is Bowser here? You already got your segment. There are 18 tracks found in the game, which is a big letdown. To make it even worse, their aesthetics are in sets of 3. There's 3 Casino Park and Bingo Highway tracks, 3 Cool Edge levels, 3 Rooftop Run levels, 3 Thunderdeck levels, and the rest are just on random areas in the series. Like the other 2 games, this game has its own online and adventure mode. Adventure mode does have more gameplay changes like time attack modes, destroying robots mode, elimination races, and so on, which does provide a pretty good time, but at the same time, if you can't play them outside of the adventure mode, there's really no point to go back other than to do it on expert difficulty. Moving on to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. This game has so much to do. There's an adventure mode which I'll go into detail later on, but there's also an arcade mode which has expedition races, Grand Prix, time trials, battle mode, relic races, ring rally. This game came with 16 base tracks, 12 tracks from Nitro Fueled, and for a year, developers kept adding DLC characters and racetracks for a year, and for free. This is equal to a whopping 56 characters and 39 tracks. As well as that, all the characters you have to choose from have their own stats and cart type. As well as that, if you have a racer you really want to race as, but you don't have like their cart type, you can change to another character's cart type. As well as that, each character has multiple skins you can equip on your racer, and like TSR, you can mustardize, yes, we're gonna cover all the carts in mustard. Just like in CTR, nope, that's the original CTR, that did not have the customization levels. God, why am I messing up so much today? Just like in TSR, you can customize your cart, but the customization is much better than in TSR. You can pick from a wide range of color schemes, stickers, and wheels. Whenever you win either a race or battle in this game, you earn coins. These coins can be put in a pot and then you can spend them in the shop, which updates every 2 hours. If you dislike it, you can shuffle it to see what's on sale. The problem is the prices. These prices are way too unreasonable, and there is a reason for this.
That's right, folks. Longtime owner Mr. Krabs is opening a new restaurant called the Krusty Krab 2. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
The reason why is because there are microtransactions in this game. Here you can buy your items from the shop with real money because you'll be spending hours to unlock them through a gacha system, which, while I admit, it's a fair gacha system, but it's just downright greedy to charge these prices. These are way too high to earn anytime soon, so you're required to buy coins if you don't want to be playing the game for hours. And if you're like me, I have a life to live. Despite that, I'm still going to put CTR first because I am ranking content here and this game does have a lot of content. I'm then putting Mario Kart second and then putting TSR last. TSR really needed some post-game content really badly.
Yahoo! Shoot, not my day.
So, let's take care of the obvious right away. Okay, let's talk about TSR. So the story of TSR is that a Tanuki we've never heard of before or seen before comes and offers Team Sonic and Beta Team Rose a race. Sonic, being his natural competitive self, wants to take part in this race. He's all game to try these new cars because he loves to race. Everyone else is cautious, but Sonic tells him that if he's with them, they have no reason to worry, and that seems to convince them enough that they'll be safe. Eventually, Silver, Blaze, Vector, Team Dark, Eggman, Metal Sonic, and Bowser were all invited. Throughout the game, you go back and forth about whether the Rampa is evil more than in the Persona 5 cast questions if what they're doing is right or not. And trust me, they do that a lot. Eventually he's found out that the Rampa is actually a good guy and he runs his own company and as the teams to race, it sets this new engine which runs off racing. Not the worst ass pull I've ever heard. Eggman then kidnaps the Rampa and then steals the engine for himself, but who wants to bet how that ended?
Hades! The exit is that way.
Hold on, I almost forgot.
Now Crash Team Racing on the other hand goes the simpler route, which is funny considering Naughty Dog was trying to kill the franchise by trying to jump the shark. Crash, Coco and Cortex are racing and are interrupted by an alien called Nitrous Oxide. He plans to take over Earth and make it an intergalactic car park, unless he is beaten by a race, hence why everyone is racing in the first place. Here though, there isn't much story other than the racing bosses who want to be the one who stop Nitrous Oxide themselves, but that's really just a minor obstacle than a real inconvenience. Which story was better? In my opinion, CTR, because despite the fact it is shorter than TSR's racing, TSR had mostly padding. It's just a back and forth about whether the Rampa is evil or not, and while CTR had less story, there wasn't any padding in this game, so I'm fine with it. Because retreading the same plot point over and over is boring. There's literally a saying that goes, the simpler option is the better option, and CTR is simpler and better. So I'm putting CTR in first, TSR in second, and Mario Kart 2 didn't have a story in last.
Can't win them all.
So I didn't want to have a whole video where it was just my opinion and you guys were subjected to listening to it, and obviously my own opinions would be subjective to me, so I decided to use fan ratings to talk about how fans see the games. Mario Kart did actually pretty well and got a 92 approval from fans. Team Sonic Racing got a, yikes, 72%. I mean, I can't say I didn't expect this. And CTR Nitro Fuel got an 88. Well, better than TSR. Guess we know how the ranking for this system goes.
This makes me so happy. I'm alive, Eddie.
Shoot, not my day.
Alright, and with that our winner has been decided. So, as you can see from this graph I made, yes, I did put a lot of effort into it, thank you. We can see that CTR has taken it with 11 points, Mario Kart with 7 taking second, just barely passing Team Sonic Racing, which got 6 at the end. So with that, I dub CTR the winner of this little comparison experiment I ran. Just for the record, I like all of these games, and if it was me personally ranking them, I'd put Crash Team Racing at first, Team Sonic Racing at second, and Mario Kart at last, but that's just me personally. By the way guys, this graph, it's just my opinion and I was judging subjectively based on what was presented to me in the game, and it was my opinion. If you prefer Mario Kart or Team Sonic Racing to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, that is completely fine and your opinion. This is just basically my opinion and judging what was given to me from the games. But with that, I think it's time to close off this video. Thank you guys so much for watching me, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.